Hello, this is Howard Stein. I am one of the plenary speakers at the 48th Annual Conference of the International Psychohistorical Association. This year's theme is Imagining Brighter Futures for Our Divided World, What Psychohistory Can Contribute. The title of my presentation is Rabbit Holes, Bottomless Sinkholes, and Imagining Brighter Futures for Psychohistory and Our Beloved Singular Earth. Now, my title probably sounds kind of goofy and unscholarly. I approach recently the understanding and research into psychohistory through poetry, through what I call applied poetry, namely by understanding literature, arts, poetry, one can gain greater access to the inside experience, lived experience of what cultures and historical eras about. Well, my presentation is about going down Alice's rabbit hole into that bizarre wonderland called the Age of Trump. And the bottomless sinkhole comes from an image on Facebook several months ago about a sinkhole in China where there was a very lively forest at the bottom of it. And then I started to imagine this wonderland of increased madness and craziness being an endless sinkhole that just continues falling forever, which of course is one of the psychotic's most anxious fantasies. And in this bizarre world, how do we imagine a brighter future? And how do we imagine what kind of earth we were preparing for? And something I have not written into my talk, but I would like you to think about as I will read some poetry that will illustrate these themes, is the following. There's a famous Jewish expression, he or she who saves one life will be as if he or she saved the world. I think it's beautiful. Of course, it was in Schindler's List also. Are we also living in an era where, so paradoxically, we have to save the entire earth in order to save a single life? Now, I'm not asking you to choose between the two. I'm asking you to hold on to the tension of both and. One of my main concerns about imagining a brighter future through the use of psychohistory is how, given our times and all that is going on geopolitically, economically, how can we be not Pollyannish? How can we not offer alternative psychohistorical facts that gloss over the fact that things are pretty bad? And I think that a large part of the solution is recognizing the kinds of things that we are doing and have been doing to try to make life better on the earth and for each other. Let's say if you go back to the work of Vogt, beginning in Charlottesville, Virginia, and coming up to the contemporary work of Alice Maher with her groups, both in person and her experiment of conducting a almost international group on Facebook, trying to address these issues of getting people who are enemies of each other to listen to each other, to tell each other stories, to become perhaps a little more human to each other and not so totally other to each other. These are things that Vulcan started 30 years ago in the Center for the Study of Human Interaction, and now he and his group are working all over the world. Another way of trying to imagine a bright future may sound paradoxical, namely to tell the truth, to bear witness. And what I mean by bearing witness is in the face of what Seth Alcorn and other people are talking about is a complete unreality, that there is no truth anymore. I think psychohistorians stand for telling the truth, no matter how painful it might be, and bearing witness where a lot of people turn away. Psychohistorians have been bearing witness ever since one of the founders, or the founder of the IPHA, the IPA, Lloyd DeMoss, started hammering away about how the nightmare of childhood affected human history and human evolution. A lot of people not only disagreed with that, but ridiculed him. However, he's trying to bring out a perspective of bearing witness to, let's say, human ugliness. Now, how does that prepare us for a brighter future? It prepares us by being honest. And one of the ways I try to do that, in addition to my own scholarship, is through what I call applied poetry. And in my talk, I will read a few poems, discuss a few poems, and relate them to what is going on psychohistorically, so that poetry and other arts can give us a different approach, a different way of looking and seeing and feeling toward psychohistorical research and toward a greater understanding of psychohistorical reality.